For those of you who are not watching this live, this is a live, so we will be starting here momentarily in about a minute. So if you want to fast forward, I'm going to do a quick shout out to my Instagram stories where I have my biggest following, and then we'll get right into it. Give me 1 second here. What up, Instagram? Join me live for this week's top waiver wire ads. Just swipe up. All right, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, depending where you're at. What's up, Lewis? I'm going to do the waiver wire. Haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks, so I'm glad I have the time now to do it, although I will be flying back to Northern California tonight, so it's going to be hard to get some of these videos done. I'm going to try to do a trade video tomorrow. Can't make any promises. I also have some time to do some roster assessments for those who are interested. I've been getting a lot of requests for those, but I haven't had the time. I have the DFS group as well. Congrats to all those who are making money out there. We had several big winners this past week on some really nice lineups, so I'm happy about that. Both the roster assessments are $10, and the DFS weekly group is as well. If you don't win in a particular week, you do get the next week free, so it's definitely a good deal. And then the roster assessments, I go through your whole roster, mention any holes you have, trade suggestions. That's the part I hate, which is why I got to charge for it. And you could do that in the form of a FaceTime with me or IG, TV or IG video, whatever. Or we could do a written, and it includes any follow-up questions you have. So it does take time. I say $10 for 10 minutes, but usually most, assessments, whether it's written, whether it's, doing IG video, it usually takes like 30 minutes at least. Some of you guys got a big mess that, I even had one guy that was 0-7, and he won his 2 games in a row. He just didn't want to finish last place because there was just like this absurd, penalty or whatever. So he's won 2 in a row. I don't know if he won this past week. I'm sure he'll let me know. So it's definitely worth your money, especially if you're in big money leagues or don't want to be embarrassed by finishing in last place. All right, guys. So now I see there's several of you guys on, so let's get into that. And of course, you could comment or DM me on Instagram at fantasyfootballrapper. You can also find me on Twitter at IMFFrapper. Well, guys, waiver wires. So we'll start with our quarterbacks. This is a position, it's been kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Like Mahomes has missed time. Breeze has missed time. Breeze just had a clunker against Atlanta at home. Don't ask me how that happens, but I am one to say that Breeze is overrated. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. But so yeah, you've had Mahomes out, Breeze out. Rodgers has been kind of a bust. Brady's been okay, not great. So these next 2 guys, maybe they're not the best. Well, Daniel Jones, right off the bat, I love him. I love what he brings to the table. I love that the Giants are going to be in shootouts virtually every game because of their defense. I love that he's now running more with the football, and he's an accurate passer. You saw what he did against the Jets. I know it's the Jets, but still, I think Daniel Jones has a really safe floor and an absolutely beautiful schedule. It's a name you've heard me mention before. I know he's on a bye, but if you got the space, he's definitely worth adding. Because again, guys, I'm always trying to get you guys to think ahead. And thinking ahead, Nick Foles is also an excellent stash. So, with the case of Foles at Indianapolis is a very good defense, particularly at home. But Foles will give you a safe floor. And if it's between him and, let's say, Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, Kyle Allen, all 3 of those guys I think are good streamers this week. because of their matchups, we got Kyle Allen, facing Atlanta. Darnold is going against Washington, and Carr at home against Cincinnati. I still would rather you have Foles, because I think Foles can still give you a similar production, and then you could just keep him and ride him out for the rest of the year. So Daniel Jones and Nick Foles are my two favorite quarterbacks that can still be had for the rest of the year, and I think they will be top 10 quarterbacks for the rest of the year. So something to take into account, because again, if you don't have Lamar Jackson, and you don't have Patrick Mahomes, I think these guys can be, just as good as those guys. Or, outside of those two or Watson, I think they're up there. Or maybe somebody dropped Wentz in your league. I think Wentz is a good add as well. Sometimes you get these crazy leagues. Wentz just had a bye. Maybe somebody needed the extra room. Wentz hasn't been great. They dropped him. I would take Wentz over all those guys, actually. Running back, there's only one really, really good running back worth the ad. I mentioned him. You guys, hopefully you're following my Instagram. Hopefully you took my advice and you picked up Brian Hill. But he's definitely worth a number one waiver. Probably the only person this week, unless Darius Layton's available in your league. Another guy. I've been telling you guys to get Darius Layton now for like 2 months. So hopefully you guys got him already. Or if you don't, Brian Hill, Darius Layton, those are the two guys worth the number one waiver. I do like J.D. McKissick on the Lions because he's their pass-catching back. We don't know if Ty Johnson's going to play. He's not the type of back that's going to get more than like 4 or 5 carries, McKissick, but he is averaging over 6 yards per carry on those attempts. So he's definitely worth an ad for a lower waiver, or maybe you could get him for free the next day. It's not like a priority ad. Brian Hill is a priority ad. He had 21 touches when Freeman left the game, and he's a good pass catcher. He's explosive. He runs hard. You could get some cheap touchdowns on an offense that is, pretty good at scoring and will be in a lot of shootouts, so they'll have to keep up. So I love Brian Hill. I think Brian Hill does have league-winning potential. We don't, they say Freeman is only a sprain. He's going to be out 2 weeks. But again, the team has nothing to play for. It's like a similar situation going on in Arizona. If Drake is available in your league, you better pick him up. I think Brian Hill and Kenyan Drake both are league winners despite their, incumbent starters still being on the team and not, shelved for the long term. But they've just looked better. Devonta Freeman, he's done, guys. He'll be out of the league in a year, even though he's not that old, but he's just, he's injury prone. He's small. He hasn't looked good when he has played. Football, it's a weird season. A lot of people are drafting Devonta Freeman 4th round. I told you guys to stay away. But I know how football works, and you can lose it from one season to another. It doesn't, discriminate against age or whatever, especially when it comes to the running back position. So Hill is a potential league winner and worth a number one waiver ad because he's the complete package. McKissick is more like a flex play, low waiver priority. C, maybe you need help at the running back position. You're desperate or you have bye week issues. So McKissick is a decent flex. And then Kenyan Drake is also a league winner. He's looked absolutely amazing. He's in an offense that's tailor-made for his skill set. He's an underrated runner with the football, and he's a great pass catcher. Love Kenyan Drake. Again, he's probably taken, but if you're in 10-team leagues, whatever the case may be, Drake is a potential league winner. Wide receiver. I mentioned it already. Slayton's the only one worth a waiver priority. Anybody else, guys, like if it's not Darius Layton, if it's not D.D. Westbrook, some people might have dropped D.D. Westbrook. I think he's an excellent play going forward. I do expect him to get significant targets, and he's with a quarterback that likes to target the slot receiver. I know DJ Shark is there. I don't think it's going to affect DJ Shark in any way. There's plenty of attempts to go around. What's this guy's name? I forgot the coordinator's name for Jacksonville. Oh, DeFilippo. He likes to throw the football, so there'll be plenty of attempts. So both D.D. Westbrook and DJ Shark could eat. So if D.D.'s available, love him. And especially if he's like your, wide receiver 3, your flex, I think he has some upside from that spot. And then Darius Layton, even though he has a bye this week, you can't use him. But Darius Layton is also wide receiver 3 with upside moving forward. Tight ends. There's surprisingly a lot of tight ends. I did a slick move in one of my leagues. I had Hooper, and obviously he's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks probably. And I went ahead and I scooped up Goddard. Somebody had dropped Goddard. And for me, I think that's your best option. I think, Goddard is another one. I was really, really high on Goddard. I caught a lot of flack for that, even though he was like a 16th round pick. But Goddard's a starter. See, the problem is the reason I was high on him is the reason we're now seeing is because I always viewed Goddard as a starter because he's not a backup. They're playing in 12-man formations. They're playing with 2 tight ends. So he really is a starter. And he's running just as much routes as a starter on any other team, even more. He's actually in more snaps than most starters because most teams have a blocking tight end and a pass-catching tight end. Goddard is both, and they're running 2 TE sets. And you guys know my model, talent over everything, and Goddard is more talented than, let's say, Foles, Hollister, Font, although Font could end up being really talented himself, Jack Doyle. So all these tight ends I just mentioned, I like them, compared to other options. I think, outside of Waller, Travis Kelce, Ertz, Kittle, and then Goddard would be my next guy. Then after that, I think Foles, Hollister, Font, Doyle, they're just as good as anybody. I love Cook. Oh, I didn't even write him down here. Jared Cook, if he's available, love. Maybe him I would put over Goddard. But so it'd be Jared Cook, Goddard, and then probably Foles. Hollister I like. He did really good last night, all things considered, although a touchdown saved him, but, it was against San Francisco. But we do have Josh Gordon that they just recently signed. He looked really good, even though he only got, a few targets. Both of them, I think the 2 I saw were for first downs. I don't know if he caught more than 2 balls, but he looked good. He looked good, and I thought he looked good in New England. I didn't think Josh Gordon was the problem in New England. I think Tom Brady, who's aged, he still can get it done because he's so smart and he's so great. So he's accurate with the football, but he's not quite the deep passer. He never really was, but even more so now, Brady is not that great at pushing the ball down the field. So he really couldn't use Josh Gordon. He really couldn't maximize his strengths. Now you put him with a guy like, Russell Wilson, who can utilize his strengths. So I like Josh Gordon, but it's still a running offense. However, we don't know what's going to happen with Tyler Lockett. It seems like he left the game yesterday with some sort of injury. So Hollister, could get bumped up, addition by something. So he could stay equal since before they didn't have Gordon or he played minimally, and now they might not have Lockett. So I like Hollister. Font's just super talented. I don't know about this quarterback. He had a good game last week. He's running a lot of routes. He's getting a lot of snaps. But this guy Allen, Font had a 75-yard touchdown. You can't rely on that. That was all Font. So I love Font's talent, but at the end of the day, he's still a rookie. Doyle, more of a crapshoot, more touchdown dependent. Hasn't seen over 5 targets since week 5. So, that's why. But my top 3 would be Cook, Goddard, Foles, then Hollister. That's 4. Defense, couple streamers. Jaguars should be a good play, especially if Brian Hoyer is the quarterback. They just look really good. Somebody dropped Pittsburgh because they were playing the Rams. Somebody did that in my league. That's the only reason I'm mentioning it. Pittsburgh's elite. Outside of the Pats, outside of San Francisco, Pittsburgh's the defense that you want. Oakland at home against Cincinnati. Stream them. And then the Jets. The Jets playing Haskins. It's on the road, but Haskins has been a turnover machine in his short career. He hasn't looked really good. Washington doesn't have a lot of playmakers. The Jets aren't really good, but they get facing a rookie quarterback that likes to turn the ball over. There's worse options at defense. So there you guys have it. Nothing too crazy. Again, the main takeaways from here is Brian Hill for sure, worth the number 1. Slayton for sure, worth the number 1. If D.D. Westbrook's available. He's worth a waiver. And then you want to stash the quarterback. I haven't spoken on stashing running backs. But, guys, if, Alexander Madison is available, or what's the other guy, or Armstead, those are my 2 top stash backs. A lot of leagues have those guys available. So make sure you pick those up. Even a Tony Pollard, if something happens to Zeke, it's all about the stash backs. So I'm sure Armstead is available in a lot of leagues, especially if you guys don't regularly follow me. Fournette still has that injury history. That can happen at any time. I like what I've seen out of Armstead. So, and then stash the quarterbacks. Daniel Jones, Nick Foles, I think they will be top 10 quarterbacks the rest of the way. Don't love Foles, particularly this week on the road at Indy. But long term, those 2 guys. And then tight end, Goddard. Love me some Goddard. All right, guys. So there you have it. Week 11 waivers. I hope that was beneficial, provided some value. I'm going to scroll up to see if you guys got any questions here. Would you trade Eckler and Marvin Jones for D-Hop and Montgomery? Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. You're welcome, Con. Yeah, Niners defense has been elite. Tannehill. Yeah, I guess Tannehill has been pretty good. I forgot to mention him. I don't really think of Tannehill. See, for me, guys, it's hard. I just feel like Tannehill is like that Cinderella story, and, at any given moment, he could turn into a pumpkin. But at the same time, he actually was a QB1 several years ago with Miami. He's an underrated athlete. He could run a little bit. And, a lot of people don't look at Tennessee like this, but they got weapons. But I think Tennessee has a bye this week too. So I wouldn't stash Tannehill. And since they have a bye this week, but he's looked good. They have weapons. I love A.J. Brown. Jonnu Smith is legit. Delaney Walker's coming back. I don't know about Corey Davis, but Tannehill at the end of the day is still not a good quarterback. He's getting the job done. They've been in a lot of high-scoring games, but I do have that fear that he could turn into a pumpkin. I definitely don't like him over Daniel Jones or Nick Foles. Let's see what else. Pick McKissick last week. It's not bad. Bless Josh. Hollister has Wilson. Okay. I think it's all over, bro. Rough season here. Just keep playing, man. You never know. Just traded for Ertz due to Hooper getting hurt. I gave up Darnold and Henderson. Love it. I'm not back in LA. I'll be actually in Oakland tonight. Drop AJ Green, absolutely. I need a tight end, Everett or Fells. That's tough. Who does the Rams play this week? I don't know the schedules yet, but both kind of darty. I guess I would lean Everett just a little bit because talent over everything. I'm glad, John Franco. I'm glad you guys, are taking up my advice. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I've been telling you guys for a while. A lot of these players that I told you, the 49ers defense that John Franco is referring to, I told you guys to pick them up when I think it was their bye. I said stash them, or either they were playing a hard, I don't know what it was, but the 49ers you should have picked up for free. Darius Layton was one of my waiver leftovers on Instagram. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, make sure you do so at fantasyfootballrappers. So Darius Layton would have been free for you guys. Brian Hill, told you to pick him up before the game. He would have been free. He's the number one waiver. So you guys would have had 3 starters, 3 potential elite people for free. So that's why I always try to tell you guys, stay ahead of the game. Because, for instance, Daniel Jones, Nick Foles, you could probably get them for free. Nick Foles, nobody's really thinking about him. Daniel Jones on a bye. And then you got 2 potential top 10 quarterbacks to guide you through the playoffs, along with some of these, running backs and other skill positions. So that's what it's all about, guys. Pick up Damian Williams over Hill for next week. Damian Williams, he's on the Kansas City. It looks like he's got his job back. So love Damian Williams. I do. Or stick with Monty versus no, Damian Williams for sure. Damn, Cooper Kupp. That's rough. Kyler. Yeah, they both had good matchups. But, yeah, Cooper Kupp. Almost lost because of him myself. Darius, guys, I don't have high hopes for him. Not in a great offense, not with a great offensive line, coming off an injury. I mean, he's worth an ad. I should have mentioned him actually earlier in the video. I forgot about him. But it's not somebody I'm excited. I don't view him as a league winner, but he's worth an ad because he does have talent. I just don't know if he's going to be able to fully manifest that in that Washington offense. And please, guys, before you leave, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up. It helps my algorithm, helps grow my brand. All you got to do is click out of the chat box and click the like, unless you just don't like the content. I can't force you. I'm still on the hunt for the playoffs after starting 0-3, now 5-5. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. A lot of teams, and my teams are the same ways. My teams are really, really, picking up now because a lot of times, like, people joke and say, bro, rapper, are you a fortune teller? I believe I do kind of have a little bit of that. As you see, Mixon is looking good now. Fortunately, he wasn't doing that earlier the year. And then you see some of my guys are coming on. Goddard is another one, So that's why, it's important for you guys to stick with me the whole way. And that's why I do the private Facebook group. That's why I try to do these videos along the way because I'm here. I'm going to guide you along the way. So even if I make a mistake or I'm wrong about something, because I've been doing this 20 plus years, I have a proven system. So I'm going to make sure you guys are secure. I'm going to make sure you guys are safe. And that's why I say three-headed monster. If you don't have 6 running backs, you don't have none. I'm going to do a separate video on that today, hopefully, and show you how that saved my season, this season on one of my teams. So I'm going to do a separate video on that. But that's why I do a system. I don't, just throw stuff out there because I know, listen, it's a fact that 50% of the top players, half, are going to bust or get injured. So there's no analyst in the world that's going to get everything right. But I'm here to help you in those situations and make sure that you cover yourself always. Would you grab Geis or Armstead? I would grab Armstead if you're a Fournette owner. Any other TE after what you named? Not that I could think of, man. I mean, I gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, there's not that many good tight ends. I said Goddard, or I said Cook, Goddard, Fells, Hollister, Font, Doyle. I mean, maybe you could think of somebody I'm missing. I don't know. Why am I saying drop AJ Green? Because the best ability is availability, and right now there's no timetable for his return. Why would he return for a team that has nothing to play for? I'd rather use that spot on a potential league winner, a stash back, or somebody that can help you. I'm not into speculation. He's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, so I value my roster spots. There's no junk players. A lot of you guys got – that's one thing I noticed with the roster assessments. A lot of you guys got a lot of junk, a lot of wasted 2 or 3 tight ends when there's only like 5 or 6 that are even worth starting, 2 or 3 quarterbacks. I had to clean up a lot of shit. That's why I charge $10 because it's I care. I only know how to do things one way, guys. I'm a winner. I'm a champion. That's what I'm about. And I do everything with 110% effort. That's why sometimes I don't even make a video because I'm not in the mood. Unless I could give you my 110% effort, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, and I treat your teams the same way. And some of you guys come with me for a mess, and I got to clean it all up. But it's working. You guys are getting great results. I'm happy about that. And, yeah, so, no. AJ Green, I don't know why I just went on a rant, but no AJ Green. You like Wentz or Daniel Jones rest of the season? That's tough. I still got to go with Wentz just because he's a little safer. Damn, Daniel Jones. I mean, here's the thing. If you're a team that, you're kind of barely making the playoffs, you don't have a lot of what I call home run hitters, a guy like Mike Evans that could go for 40, a guy like Zeke that could go for 30, guys like that, then I would go Daniel Jones because I do believe he has more upside. He has a crazy schedule, but if you are a team that you have a really good team and, maybe quarterback's your shortcoming and you need somebody stable, then I think Carson Wentz is your move. And that's why brings up another good point. We're doing a lot more than just waivers, obviously, here now. It's turned into an actual live. But somebody asked me in the Facebook group, rank these players for me. And that's the problem I have. Sometimes what's good for one team is not good for the other team. Sometimes you need upside. Sometimes, the game's going to be close in projections and you need safety. So you get what I'm saying? That's why, I look at things from a bird's eye view, It's not always equal. It's not always equal. You think Jamison Crowder could keep up his play? No. It's just ridiculous what he's doing right now. I don't think he'll keep it up. I think he's had 2 really good matchups, and he's taken full advantage, but I don't expect that the rest of the way. I think Eckler is still a starter. I think Eckler is a flex play. He's a flex play. I don't think he's a must start. Some of you guys got really good teams, so I don't think he's a must start. I think he can be a starter, but more of a flex because that touchdown saved him. Odell Beckham for Kirk. I would take that. I would take the chance with OBJ. Start OBJ and Montgomery this week. I'm not doing start sits till at least Thursday, Friday, so I haven't even looked at the matchup. Start Hunt or Chubb. Chubb. That I can answer just because Hunt is more of a flex play. Is Mixon an RB2 there? Guys, we're not doing that. If you have any waiver questions, let me know. Salute from Brazil. You're welcome, bro. All right. So I'm gonna end it on that because we're going off the rails here with start sits, guys. It's Tuesday. Teams haven't even started practicing yet, guys. I'm gonna teach y'all how to play fantasy the right way, the fantasy football rapper way. And those of you who've been with me for a long time, y'all know the deal. That's why you got the 49ers. That's why you got Brian Hill. That's why you got you know what I'm saying? So you guys have been programmed to play wrong, to play ESPN. Remember, ESPN, they need to keep you entertained. So they'll do their rankings on Tuesday and stuff when we don't even know injury reports. They need viewers. That's how they make their money. I could keep it real. And the real players, I don't set my lineups till Sunday, like an hour before the game, because the left tackle could be a last-minute scratch, and all of a sudden there's a good streamer defense. You know what I'm saying? These little things, I'm very, it's all in the details, guys. It's all in the details. All right? And I will tell you, I'm the most detailed analyst in the motherfucking game. I wrote about Brian Hill in my book. My book came out in July. I know every single position, every single offensive line. Guys, it's all in the details. So, that said, do not ask start sits till at least Thursday. And I only say Thursday because some of you guys need to play players in Thursday night games. All right? All right, y'all. Well, I love you guys. I'm going to end this now. Good luck. I'm going to try to see if I make another video or two. And until next time, y'all be good.